What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Walking Dead vlog. This is for the off season of The Walking Dead going into season 10. I'm the Eerie Lord, and we are covering Maggie and whether she will be returning in season 10. This is a very interesting topic because we had a couple of departures last season, including the beloved Rick Grimes, and some people weren't, I guess, focusing on it as much, but Maggie's last episode of the show, for at least a bit, was also episode 5 of season 9. Now, obviously, the whole episode was focused on Rick, so we didn't get as much time to necessarily mourn her, but as it stood, she wanted to go off with Georgie and those band of hippies that we were shown in one episode. If you guys remember episode 12 of season 8, The Key, Georgie and these two very odd women. The scene really didn't fit the episode because in that episode, that was the Rick versus Negan fight. That was Simon trying to conspire against Negan, trying to get Dwight on his side. And then you have this side plot with Maggie and these hippies. And I was like, why are who are these people? Where do they live? There were so many questions I had. The show just kind of introduced them. And unlike the Scavengers, Jadis's group, that had a lot of tie-in to the story, they had their own setting, which was the junkyard. Georgie it was like a one-and-done thing. And it was kind of obvious after the fact that they were doing that just so that they had an out for Maggie / Lauren Cohan, who made it clear that she wanted to pursue other projects. Right now, she's on the ABC show Whiskey Cavalier, which I did read a report today that the show was on the brink of cancellation, which could free up Lauren Cohan to go back to The Walking Dead. I'm not sure if she'll do it. Maybe there's another project, because it seemed like from interviews she had been with the character of Maggie for a long time and she just needed a little bit of a break. So was that second half of season 9 enough of a break? We did see a report from where Andrew Lincoln said to Norman Reedus, man, season 9 is so great, I picked a bad time to leave the show. Does Maggie feel the same way? In some interviews, she's been very candid. Lauren Cohan has been very candid that Maggie will return in some capacity. They did plant some of the seeds, if you guys remember, in the finale of season 9, when the group is just before the blizzard. Michonne and some others talk about how they sent another letter to Maggie, probably telling her that the Hilltop is in desperate need of leadership, considering both Enid and Tara are dead, and Jesus. I mean, I know Jesus died episodes before the Pike scene, but yeah, 3 of the biggest leadership members of the Hilltop are dead, and I really don't know who's going to lead the Hilltop. Obviously, the Kingdom has moved to the Hilltop, so you can kind of merge leadership, maybe have Ezekiel and Jerry kind of like make it like the Kingdom Top, if that's going to be canon, the Kingdom Top, I guess, if you want all of the theatrics of the Kingdom being infused with the Hilltop, because that's really what it's going to be. Any scenes that we have with the Kingdomers, Jerry, Ezekiel, Diana, all of them, it's going to be at the Hilltop, and it's going to feel weird because I'm always so used to seeing Ezekiel in that school theater, him on the throne, him up on the pulpit, all of the places. I mean, the last time we saw that was in the Pike episode, right before it happened, and he was happy about the fair and what it meant for the Kingdom. And you know, it was a combination. As we know, the Kingdom broke down and it's had those pipe problems, which they were foreshadowing for a long time, now that I think about it. Like Henry's first scene when he's older Henry, played by Matt Lintz, his first scene is him fixing the pipes. So they really introduced the problem in the first episode back in the time jump. They showed that was a major problem that the Hilltop was facing. So where we go with the Hilltop, it'll be interesting because Maggie will then be infused. She's going to have a lot of questions, though. That's the thing. Maggie's going to come back to a completely new situation. She's going to have a lot of questions. She's going to be asking Michonne. She's going to be asking Daryl, what happened? She doesn't know who... you got to remember a few things. Maggie doesn't know who the Whisperers are. She doesn't know that 3 of the Hilltop's leadership people. I mean, last she left the hilltop, she put Jesus in charge of things, and Jesus is dead, Tara is dead, Enid is dead, along with Tammy Rose and a couple of other people who were also piked. Some of the Addie and Rodney, 2 teenagers from the hilltop, they were also piked. The hilltop lost a lot of people. And so how is the show going to catch Maggie up to speed with the Whisperers? Because what you've effectively done is that you've pretty much killed her off without killing her off. Because we know that Rick is far removed from the Whisperer conflict. We know that Rick, I'm 99% sure he's not going to be part of the Whisperer conflict unless he magically helicopters in season 10 and saves the day. I don't think he's going to be part of... He's never going to meet Alpha and Beta. None of that is going to happen with Rick Grimes. We already saw some of the iconic scenes that Rick has with Alpha, like when Alpha shows the giant horde. She did that with Daryl instead of Rick, so they changed up the adaptation. So I'm certain about Rick. But, for example, instead of Matt in the comics, when Alpha confronts the hilltop asking for her daughter back, it's actually Maggie who goes through that negotiation, and it was Daryl. So Daryl got both Rick and Maggie, both of their confrontations with Alpha. Daryl got both of them, which I liked. I'll talk about this in another vlog, but Daryl's characterization was enhanced because of the missing pieces, because of that void of Maggie and Rick being gone. Daryl was able to easily take in this leadership role, and it fit with his character because he was a wandering nomad in that 6-year time span, trying to find Rick, feeling disappointed, feeling separated because especially Michonne's decision to isolate herself. And then he was thrust into this leadership position very quickly because of the threat of the Whisper threat put him back into a leadership position and reunited him with the group. So in some ways he should thank Alpha because that conflict really allowed him to get back into the swing of things. But how will Maggie get back into the swing of things? Like, where are Georgie and their group? Like, are they west? Are they north? Are they part of the Commonwealth? Some people think they might be part of the Commonwealth, the group from the comics that has a very large, ginormous 50,000 plus community in Ohio. It would be a little far-fetched, like, because Maggie would probably have written them a letter, because she was writing them letters. In that 6-year time span, she was writing Jesus and the Hilltop letters as Jesus communicates. Jesus said, yeah, Maggie's good. Like, they don't blink or bat an eye that something's up, that she's in some sort of, like, unique situation. They're just like, yep, she's just wandering with these hippies, trying to bring in new communities, traveling around. She's with grown-up Herschel, he's now 7-8 years old. We also have to remember that because Herschel was a year and a half younger, 2 years younger than Judith, so he would be 2 years younger than Judith. So if Judith is 10, Herschel's like 7-8, so he's walking and talking. So we got to remember that Herschel Jr., Maggie's baby, is also grown up. So if you bring Maggie back, you have to bring a new actor to play that character. So that's something also to consider. So how do you guys think Maggie's going to come back? Honestly, this is a real tough one because I just feel like it would feel forced no matter what. I'm almost okay with her not being a part of the Whisper conflict. I really am. Like, in my mind, like, I never thought the story was so well told that I never for one moment said to myself, oh, I really wish Rick was here. I mean, true, it would be awesome to see Andrew Lincoln and Samantha Morton act together. They're both A-list actors, and having them in scenes together would be absolutely phenomenal. But at the same time, I like that Daryl has this character development. Other characters were able to step up to the plate, and I liked seeing them more than if Maggie was forced into this situation, because Maggie's whole arc kind of ended when she confronted Negan. Like, Negan killing Glenn back in season 7, and Maggie having to live with that, and then step up into leadership at the Hilltop, and then she helped win the war, and she was pissed off that Rick spared Negan, and then she got closure after that by confronting him, realizing that he was torn up because he was just in prison, and it was a mess, and then it was an iconic scene from the comics that happens way later on, but it made sense for them to adapt it then. Number one, because of Lauren Cohan's departure, and number two, just because of where they were. Like, it made sense after a year and a half. Yeah, Maggie would want to go and confront Negan and have that conversation. Story-wise, it wasn't out of the blue or unquestionable to move that comic arc and bring it way up to this point. So, I don't know how they're going to bring her back. I would almost prefer, here's what I would like. If they're going to bring Maggie back, I would want the Whisper conflict to be dealt with. I would want, or maybe the Whisper war is going on. Like, maybe the Whispers are attacking the hilltop, everything's on fire, and then maybe Maggie comes back and tries to provide some reinforcements, and she's like, what the hell happened here? And then everyone's got to get her caught up to speed. I don't want her to come randomly when the Whispers, like, that conflict is heightening again. Because we don't know what's going to happen with the Whispers next, of course. We don't know if Negan's going to infiltrate them. We don't know if they're just going to attack. We don't know if somebody else is going to infiltrate the Whispers. We don't know what's going to happen with them. So I just don't want Maggie to be this deus ex machina that somehow just solves this situation that she wasn't even a part of to begin with. If she's going to jump back into the show, deal with the Whispers first, then maybe have her come in when you're dealing with this radio thing. Like, maybe whoever they're talking to on the radio, maybe Maggie knows the person, maybe she has some information, she knows trade routes, there's some sort of connection there. Maybe that's how I want it to be interwoven. Don't have her jump in with the Whispers, have her jump in with the radio / Commonwealth, whoever we're dealing with there, okay? So let me know what you guys think. Lots of possibilities, but of course I always like to hear your comments and opinions. So right below, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. And I'm going to try to have a new vlog every 2 days for you guys. That's the plan going forward. So just keep tuning in because I want to keep making content for you guys. I actually have a really big vlog coming up for this weekend about how I think Angela King saved The Walking Dead. And I have some very specific argumentative points about that, about how I think Angela King saved The Walking Dead, taking over as showrunner in Season 9. It's basically, I've already done my review of Season 9, but I just want to kind of grade, because this is the first full season that Angela has done as showrunner, and Season 4 was Scott Gimple's first season as showrunner that he was in charge of. So I think it's worth grading her, and really, I mean, I think you guys know I'm going to give her a good grade, but talking about how I think she saved the show, because across the board, this show has been praised, and I want to break down why that is, why it's different, what makes Season 9 different from Season 7 and 8, all right? That's in a nutshell kind of some of the things I'll be talking about. So, all right, until then, I will see you guys later. Let me know where you think Maggie is. When do you want Lauren Cohan to return? Do you want Maggie to return? When should she return? Will she cross over and Fear the Walking Dead? Will she be part of the Commonwealth? Will she come during, before, or after the Whisper conflict? What do you think? Let me know. Thanks. Have a great day.